Hello, 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 and welcome to another weekly knit chit chat. So, if you're new around here, hello and welcome. So glad that you're hopping on. This is a weekly segment that I do every Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern, just to hang out and knit and chat and talk about life and everything else. So, hello, thanks for joining joining. What have you been knitting on recently? I have been mostly working on my Maema Cardigan, which if you've been around here for a while, this has been something you've seen several times. I started it back at Thanksgiving time, US Thanksgiving time, so that's the end of November, and this is how much progress I've made. It is my personal project using Malabrigo Yarn, and the Maema Cardigan is a pattern by Pip and Pin. So that's mostly what I've been knitting on. I have also picked up again my In a Mood infinity scarf, which will be connected at the end here once I finish the lace bit. But I had taken off the needles for a different project and I picked up the wrong needles, so I'm gonna end up ripping this back and putting on the other needle size and then restarting. I'll just rip back this lace part, restart that. But actually this is the same pattern as the shawl that I'm wearing. I decided to go ahead and wear the shawl because if you see like the replays, the cover photo that I put on, it's always me wearing a knitted item, and I thought maybe I should actually wear the knitted item, but I am in Charlotte, North Carolina area, and we've been having like 100-degree days, so we'll see how long it lasts. But this is the In a Mood shawl. The idea is that you can knit any of the stitches whenever you want. And so that's the same idea as the In a Mood scarf. What I ended up doing was I basically just did the stitches on their own for a certain length. Actually, I'll take the shawl off here and show so that it's basically like each stitch will be one length of the scarf, and it will just wrap 3 times. So anyway, I finally picked that up again. I don't know, the last time I worked on it was probably like mid-April sometime. Basically I just like breezed through the first 2 sections, and then I got to the lace and I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. So it kind of has just been sitting for a while. Hello to folks hopping on. What have you been working on? What have you been knitting or crocheting or all of the things making? Yeah. And how's your week been? Something that I like to start off towards the beginning of these weekly chats is talking about your week. And so I like to ask, what are 3 words to describe your week? How's your week been, and how would you describe it in 3 words? For me, I said balance, groove, and productive. I've been trying to find a better balance, work-life balance specifically, and then kind of been getting back into the groove of things finally, and feeling a bit productive. So I was on vacation for 2.5 weeks in May, and then came back and we chatted Friday right after that. And then let's see, the next week was last week, and I ended up with some neck shoulder issues and I just could not do anything last Friday. So now this week it's like I'm finally getting into the groove a bit more of things. Hello and welcome. How's your week been? What are 3 words to describe your week? Yeah, so basically, I don't remember if I talked about it on the last time we chatted, but the theme for basically the summer for me, I was saying this month, but I think it's going to be more than this month, is really slowing down and getting back to kind of the fundamentals of my business. A lot of things that I have kind of just ignored for several years. They've always been on my to-do list, but they get pushed down. And so I'm finally taking time to slow down on all of the other projects so I can focus on those things and get them done finally. But then also slowing down in the sense of not working nonstop so that I have more time for other things in my life. And so that's been fun. I have actually gotten a little bit more knitting done on this because of that. So I've done some YouTube watching with knitting. YouTube, I like to watch travel vloggers, which if you watched these before, you know that. But that's, I kind of like to just binge watch that. Something else I've been enjoying is coloring. So I had done, I'm not even probably gonna remember what one I did. Actually it might have been this one. I have, this one's like all trees and plants and things. And then I finally started my yarn coloring book. But I'm wondering how in the world they actually make these things out of yarn. I'm a little skeptical. Like all of the detail of all of these designs and things, they don't really look like knitting and crochet to me. So anyway, just had fun coloring again. Oh, and the other thing was that I started a digital scrapbook, which will be printed from our Europe trip. So that was fun. Those are kind of the projects I've been working on just for myself for fun. Is there anything you've been doing outside of knitting? Something else I keep feeling really tempted to start is some sewing projects again. But yeah. Let's see, where else do we want to go? Let's go ahead and go into, if you saw in my stories, I had recorded a whole bunch of reels in March, and I thought I lost them. So I had gotten logged out of my Instagram account and had to log back in. And so Instagram deleted all of the drafts that I had saved. And I was not finding the videos, I think mainly because I thought I had recorded them in April, and so I wasn't going back far enough. But anyway, I finally found those a couple days ago, Wednesday maybe. And the reason I'm actually sharing that is because now I have my reel again that I had recorded for the giveaway. This was, you've probably heard about it a couple times if you've been around here, but it was, the idea was initially for when I hit 2,000 followers, which was back in October or November. I first had reached out to Channy Peas Corner, and she sent stuff within a few weeks, and then I had reached out, so I did 2 giveaways. I'd reached out to 6 and 7 Fiber, and she had sent stuff, and then I reached out to 2 bag makers. I got one of the bags in January, then I got this bag in March. I already had this yarn on hand. I had just asked the maker if I could include it. And so anyway, I had everything in March, recorded the reel, and then I had so much going on with In Tandem and Design Circle and everything that I knew I wasn't going to be able to post about it in April. So I was going to post about it in May while I was gone, and then I lost my reel and I was gone. So anyway, long story short, finally we will have the giveaway next week. I promise. We will have this project bag made by Kalisha of Nadiratani with a cute little progress keeper and stitch marker. It's not gonna focus right. But the heart says made with love, and then this is a moon, crescent moon, and it's just a nice big project bag This is 1 skein of fingering weight. You know, you could fit several skeins. So it's a nice big roomy project bag. 1 skein of fingering weight yarn from Marianated Yarns. She is the yarn dyer that I collaborated with for my Love Yourself shawl. And this would work great for a 1 skein version of that shawl. It is a different, I'm trying to think, I think it should be the same base, but it's a different colorway. Actually, it might be a different base altogether. She had sent it, so she had borrowed my sample for a, what do you call it, fiber festival, right before the pandemic hit. And so when she sent back the sample, she sent this yarn to me, which was so sweet. It's beautiful, gorgeous yarn, but it's just not something that it's been sitting there for 2 years now, and I don't think I'm going to use it. So I want to go ahead and gift it to somebody else who will. And then we have 3 stitch markers from Channy Peas. A bouquet of flowers with yarn balls in the centers of the flowers. We have a blender with yarn balls inside of it, and then a gumball machine with yarn balls inside. So that's what the giveaway will be. You'll see it on my profile. I think Monday is the day that I have it planned for. But I'm pretty sure it's early next week anyway. So that is exciting. Hello to folks that are joining. If you want to share how your week's been, go ahead and tell us 3 words to describe your week and let us know what you've been working on. Have you been knitting anything? Another exciting thing, which I shared in my stories, but I can't help but share it here, right? Is some yarn that I received this week. Yarn from Camp Fiber Yarns. She is, if you don't know Laura, she's so sweet. I've been following her especially on her stories for a long while. We've been talking about collaborating for a long while, and now we're finally doing it. But we're not doing it small. So I'm going to be designing my first pullover. Super excited about that with her yarn in DK weight. So and then I'm going to be knitting 2 samples. So I'm going to have show a couple different options as far as sleeve lengths and different things like that. So one will be knit with this beautiful color. This is Lava Rocks. This is on her non-superwash base, so it is a bit more muted than on a superwash base. And again, this is DK weight. So most of it will be knit in this gorgeous colorway. And then just a little bit of it will be knit in this, which is Baltic Amber. Just a fun pop. Goes with some of these speckles. So I'm super excited. I think it's going to be really pretty. I'm excited to knit it and see how it looks. I'm also super excited to actually wear it. And if you've been around here for a while, you know that I've been working or wanting to work more towards making things that I actually want to wear, love to wear, because so much of what I make, I don't wear on a super regular basis. So excited about that. And then the other sweater quantity that she created for me, this is a custom fade, which it'll be available in her shop when we actually release the pattern. We're aiming for January. This is a fade. Let me see if I can get my colors right here. 2, 3, 4. So there will be, the body will be most of it will be the fade. And I have a second skein of each of these. And then the end will be this really pretty, it's called Mallard. It's showing up more blue on the camera, probably because I have this blue behind it. It's a little more green, and it's got this really dark, black tone. So pretty. But yeah, it's gonna be, I'm so excited to see it knit up. Let me see if I can get all 4 of them together again. So excited. I'm speechless. Anyway, that's super exciting and so generous of Laura to send two sweater quantities of yarn. Just, it's so sweet. Our yarn dyers are so supportive of our designers, and I love it. And of course feel so appreciative for it. But here's that. This is the last color before mallard, but isn't it so good? I love it. Okay, so I think those are all of the things to show. You want to chat about the week? Even if you're not watching live, if you're watching the replay, still feel free to share how your week has been. Leave your 3 words in the comments. I love interacting with you. That's a whole reason I do these is just as a way to be able to connect with you more. So, yeah, I talked about slowing down. The hardest part about this whole slowing down thing for me has been when you have less time to work, you have less time to get things done, which means that I can't get everything done that I want to get done. And so that means it's been a lot of prioritizing and making decisions about what's most important. I realized that before I was just plowing through my to-do lists and working until they were done, basically. Part of why, always felt like I was behind. But it's been so hard to make the decisions to decide, all right, what's actually most important and what am I actually going to work on? But I think it's really good for me, and it is definitely moving me in the right direction. So, and then, so I had mentioned also my whole neck shoulder thing. I'm pretty sure it started as just some tension from stress. There was, it started in the middle of the day, but that morning I had some really stressful comments that really stressed me out. Kind of difficult to handle. It wasn't the first time. And so anyway, then later that day, my shoulder was really tense. And so I just kind of tried to massage it out and didn't think a whole lot of it. But then a day and a half later, that night, my whole neck and shoulder just started hurting really bad. And I had a terrible time trying to sleep for the next few nights. It was miserable sitting up or laying down, and I was taking pain medicine, and it just like Tylenol. Still was not feeling great. I basically got nothing done for 3 or 4 days. So that was fun. It's mostly feeling a lot better. It still is a bit sore. I can notice it when I turn my neck a whole lot. But I'm feeling much better. Been actually getting work done, so that's been nice. And then last weekend, posted this on my stories too, but we've been home for almost 3 weeks now. 3 weeks tomorrow night. And we finally got our stuff unpacked last weekend. It was just one thing after another. I don't think I had shared this before, but my spouse had COVID right after we got home. So the morning after we got back from vacation, he got sick. And so I'd been trying to stay away from it, and it was successful. But just dealing with that, and then my whole neck, shoulder stuff, and just being exhausted. Yeah, it was, I had no interest in it, and unpacking our stuff. So, till we had to have clean laundry. So we finally got that done last weekend, and so now that was kind of the pivotal point where it's all right, we're settling into being back home again, getting into a routine again, all of that. So it feels really nice. And then we had company for a couple nights earlier in the week. And then I've really, like I said, like feel like I'm actually getting back into the groove of things, getting back into work stuff. Inside of the design circle, we had 2 workshops that were social media workshops, just like audits and giving feedback for each other and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And then yesterday we had Annalisa Miller, who is a Hidden Pearl on Instagram. She has done photography for some designers, so she came and talked to us about tips for photographing your designs yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. Something I always love the interactive parts of what I do, the different calls and workshops and things like that. So it's been good to get back into the swing of all of those again, and of course being here. Then this morning I had a call with one of our design circle members who is a very accomplished seamstress, because some folks were asking about having like some sort of sewing workshop, because there's several of us designers inside of the design circle who have sewing machines, have done a little bit of sewing, so we chatted about just different things that we could do as a group outside of designing for sewing. That was a lot of fun because sewing is something that's been on my want to do list for several years as well. I used to make some bags, and I made like skirts and things for myself, like in middle school age. I made some pillows and things, but it's something that I'm always wanting to do more of. I've been really interested, and it's completely inspired by Instagram, of course, in making some things like dresses for myself that would just be super casual and easy to wear. So anyway, I'm really excited about that because I'm hoping that by doing it as a group kind of project, I'll actually do it. And if that doesn't happen inside of the design circle, if you like to sew and you want to do like some sort of sew along kind of thing, let me know. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah, what else? Yeah, the only other thing I have on my list here from this week is that I have today, basically, besides that call that I had earlier, all day today I have been recording and editing podcasts, which is so fun. I love the podcast. It's all about designing and running a business, and it gives me so much energy. I enjoy just talking about all of the things. So anyway, I have recorded all of my podcast episodes for this month, which I guess now we're halfway through the month, so that's not as impressive, but I only have one left to edit, so super excited about that. Finally, like getting back on the podcast train. I had intended to record all of the podcasts through the trip through May before I left for the trip, and that did not happen. So I'm kind of just picking up where I left off and continuing forward, but super excited about that. And I think that's all I have to talk about. Maybe I was too excited and talked too fast. But we have one person here live. Are you interested in coming live to show what you've been working on? It's been a while since I've done that, but it's always fun when I do. It's fun to see what projects you're working on and everything. We can also do, like I did sometime, where if you're watching the replay, you can send me a photo of what you've been working on. That's a lot of fun too, because then I get to actually see it. I was just looking for my pattern here. Let's see, what else? What else do we have coming up? It's summer, obviously. I feel like everybody's talking about their summer plans, everything exciting they have going on, and I feel like all of our summer plans were our trip to Europe, and so now our summer's over and summer hasn't started. I guess my spouse, he now has Fridays off work. So we're talking about maybe trying to do some 3-day weekend things, which would be fun. We live here in Charlotte, North Carolina area. We're just a few hours from the mountains, a few hours from the beach. So there's a lot of things to go see and do. And since we kind of have an extra day in the weekend, or he does, I can make it, so I do. I think we might do some of that. We've been to the mountains a couple times. We've lived here in North Carolina 3 years now. We've been to the mountains a couple times, been to the ocean a couple times, but kind of feel like we haven't done a whole lot of exploring yet. So that'll be fun if we can actually do some more of that kind of thing. If you're in the Carolinas or surrounding area, and there's something that we definitely need to go see or do, let me know. You can comment it, or you can send me a DM. Yeah, and other than that, I think my summer plans are to slow down and to do more fun projects. I definitely want to finish my scrapbook from our trip. I definitely really would like to pull out my sewing machine. Well, my sewing machine is out. It's actually right here on the desk, so it's a matter of pulling out the fabric and actually sitting down and working at the sewing machine. And yeah, just picking up more of my interests again outside of knitting and designing. I don't think we have any specific plans for this weekend. I keep wanting to go to the farmer's market, so if I actually remember tomorrow morning, I might go there. But yeah, otherwise, I think it's actually supposed to be cooler this weekend. It's supposed to be in the 80s, so it might actually be tolerable to go out and do something outside. We have lots of places to walk and to hike and different things like that around here. Might get a little more knitting done. I really would like to get more done on the scarf, because if I can get this done, I can go out to sample or test knitters, well, my tech editor and then my test knitters, and this could actually be published before too long, depending how long test knitters took. But it'll be pretty simple to actually finish the pattern, and I just need to do the knitting. Yeah. Well, if you don't have anything else to talk about, and I don't have anything else to talk about, I might have to end this live early. But thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I absolutely love this. Something I have been wondering, and whether you're here live or you're watching the replay, feel free to chime in. Since my spouse does have Fridays off, and I might be taking off more Fridays, I'm wondering if we should move the podcast, or not, this is not a podcast, this weekly chat. If we should move the date and time. Is there a better date and time that works for you? Or date and time that works better for you? The idea for this time is, for me, it's from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and so the idea is that it's supposed to be just a fun way to end the work week. But it's not very often that I actually stop working, especially since I have to add a caption to this and add the cover photo and then upload it on YouTube and all the different things. So it really wouldn't be a big deal to change it to a different day. So if you have a preference for the day of the week, I would rather not do it Saturday and Sunday, because I'm trying to preserve those more as not work days, and since this is on my work Instagram account, I still classify it as work. But yeah, let me know, is there a better time of day and day of the week for you? I know that this time isn't optimal for everyone, so maybe we can find something that's a better time and that I won't have to move for if we actually do 3-day weekend stuff. Alrighty. Keep your eye out for the giveaway. Keep your eye out for me working with this yarn. I'm so excited. It's so squishy and so beautiful. I actually pulled out a couple skeins the other day and just like set them on my desk so I could sit and enjoy them while I worked. Yeah, and other than that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Trying to think, do I have any words of wisdom to leave you with? And I don't know that I do. Have fun. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your summer. Whether that's knitting or not, it is totally okay if you're not feeling like knitting. We go in cycles. And yeah, so what I always like to leave you with is to remember that you are in charge of your own journey. So you get to choose how it goes, how it ends, and you get to make sure that you actually enjoy it. So do that. Take charge of your journey and make it fun and enjoyable, just like you want it to be. And I'm sending big, warm, cozy hugs. Well, maybe not. It's kind of hot. I'm sending hugs. The cool kind of hugs. And I will talk to you again next week on the next weekly Knit Chit Chat. So have a great weekend.